Hi, I'm Steve. Welcome back to Maker's Cave. And in this box, as you probably read on the title of the video, is a Bambu P1P 3D printer. It's a Core XY system, which means the plate goes up and down rather than a bed slinger. And along with this comes a bit of a confession.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I have a disease, alright? I need help!
I just keep accumulating 3D printers around here. It's not that we can't use them because there's tons of stuff for us to print, but very rarely have I seen the specs on a printer get me excited as I am right now. You can see the excitement. The specs on here are really great. This thing's got like a camera. It's got vibration sensing, or I forget what that technology is called. The specs really got me excited on this. That's why we brought it on in, and I'll go over all these specs in a second. It says in 15 minutes you can get this out of the box and up and running. We're going to put them to that. We're going to hold them to that. We're going to see if that 15 minutes is true. I guess we just need to get it out of the box and get going. Oh, first, let's go over the specs. Now, if this printer looks a little familiar, that's because the P1P is a less feature-rich version of Bambu's flagship printer, the Carbon X1. While Bambu removed some of the terrific features that the X1 has, they also kept some of the unique features as well. This is why the price of the P1P is attractive, and one of the reasons why I brought it in. The Carbon X1 is currently about $1,400, while the price of the P1P is $700. And currently, which is even better, P1P is on sale for $600 at their site. This is a great price point for a printer that has all these features. The main visual difference is that the P1P is an open unit, whereas the X1 is enclosed. But don't worry. Also, again, as you can see here, there are plenty of files for printing sides, some with pegboard holes to hold your various tools and items, or you can design your own. The printer is cubed in shape with a Core XY design, and the build volume is 256 millimeters by 256 by 256, or 10 inches by 10 inches by 10 inches. The control panel is in the upper left corner of the printer, and as you can see here, the monocolored dot matrix display is just large enough to show all the pertinent information you may need. Next up is the extruder. This is actually a direct drive unit, which is one of the features I made me want to buy this printer. Usually when you get a 3D printer, the first thing you want to upgrade is your standard extruder to a direct drive unit. But this one already includes one. And you're supposed to be able to get better prints with high quality with a direct drive unit. We'll see about that too. And of course, the extruder comes with your standard runout sensor. The other feature that I was interested in was it has a built-in webcam. I regularly print long jobs. Currently, I have a webcam that I log into to watch the progress of my printer. Utilizing the mobile app for this printer, I can check in on the printer. Another feature of the camera is that it can take time-lapse photos of a print job, which will be a great feature for me as a YouTuber because I regularly do time-lapse photos of prints for my different videos. This is one less thing I'll have to do. This unit does offer auto bed leveling, and along with the bed leveling, the P1P has vibration compensation and extrusion compensation. Bambu says these features guarantee an extra smooth and quality print. Again, we'll see. As an option, you can add Bambu's automatic material system, which means you can load up 4 spools of different colors and you can have multicolored prints. And finally, like I mentioned before, the P1P is wireless, so you can sync and monitor it with your prints using their mobile apps. There are a lot of different features and functions of this printer. I really encourage you to click on the link below in the description to go to Bambu's website so you can see a complete list of everything this printer can do. Of course, everything I just told you here is all from their description. Now we'll continue with unboxing and we'll see if all this stuff is really true. So now that we're done with the description, let's get to unboxing. And they said 15 minutes to unbox to getting it ready to print. We're going to put a timer down here and let's go. Packaged very well. you just simply use the bag to lift it up. So what I'm going to do, actually put this on the ground, or maybe on my chair, and then we'll lift it over. Nothing else in the box. There are some zip ties that we need to take off according to the directions. Okay, now I want us to go into the box, get some of the stuff they sent. This is the control panel. And here's a spool of filament. I don't know if it's PLA basic. I can't remember if my orders I got to choose the color or not, but it's Maker Cave Green, so you can use that to test print. Power cord, extra tubing for the filament, disclaimer and safety guide. And this looks like some tools to clean the nozzle with, and some Allen wrenches. A bracket. And stuff. I guess the directions will tell us. What else in here? See about the directions. And they want us to use short end of the Allen key to open up this panel here. Where did that go? We're going to pause the timer while I look for the escaped screw. Found the screw. Make sure we don't lose it. Put it in our little magnetic bin here. And we're doing this to put on the spool holder. Okay, so let's say there are 2 screws in the accessory box. And here it is for the screw holder, or for the spool holder. Let's see. 1 screw in. Spool holder is on. Now we have to put on the PTFE tube anchor, right here. And this goes right above here. I'm going to turn this towards me so I can do it a little easier and I don't drop the screw again. Now there is a tube up here, one end that goes into that anchor that we just put in. And the other end goes into the hot end. So we put the one end of the PTFE screw tube, the PTFE tube into here. into the anchor that we put on and down into the hot end. Now this is moving around a little bit, so I'm just going to tighten it up a little. Okay, the next thing, which is to unlock the hotbed and the screen installation. Remove the 3 screws with an Allen key H2. It's right, I don't even know, can an overhead show you? It's right down here is where the screws are, and it was real easy to find them because they have some arrows pointing to them. Well, like I said, there's the little sticker saying where the arrow is at. And the other one is all the way back over here. Okay, so those 3 screws are out. Insert the LCD cable into the port by plugging it into the terminal as pictured. Right on the front here is where the display goes, and there's a cable right there. Take this securing tape on the cable off. I'm going to take the control panel, I'll put it in here. This has got to be one of the simplest assemblies of a 3D printer I've done. Here's the panel, and it just simply slides on. So I've got it right side up. Not easy to do upside down. There we go. The screen's on. And now it says you have to carefully remove this. So that's it. It's out of the box. It's assembled. Let's go and see what the timer has on it. And then it's a matter of downloading some software and all. That, I'm sure, is not included in the 15 minutes. They said 15 minutes out of the box. So I stopped the clock when we got it all assembled. And there's some other stuff here, which looks like it's lubricant grease and all. These all, they're already lubed up to begin with. Let me read through the directions real quick here, and then we'll be right back. All right, now to continue with the setup, they want you to download an app on the phone, and once we've done that, which I have, it's called the Handy app. Yes, the Bambu Handy app. So now, according to the directions, the next thing they want us to do is connect it to power, which I've already done, and turn it on. Switches back here, and we follow the directions on the screen. All right, zoomed up on the screen for you. Now we're going to turn it on. Oh, I forgot the fun part. So satisfying. Before use, please make sure that you have read the user manual carefully. Okay. Before use, please make sure that you have removed the screw fixed to the hotbed. Yeah, you saw us do that. Those were the 3 screws. We've done that. Select your region, North America. Scan the QR code to configure Wi-Fi and use your account on Bambu Handy app. Alright, so we need to scan this QR code. Scan the QR code, and now I opened it on my phone, and it's asking me to allow Bluetooth. Yes. Would you like to bind the printer and whatever model number this is with your current account, which I've already created an account. Yes, I do. Read and accept. Yes. So that's what the screen looks like on the app to bind the printer. And we're going to confirm. Bluetooth pairing request. We're going to pair it. Trying to pair the printer with my phone with Bluetooth, and it keeps failing. Set up later. Terms and conditions. I agree. Let's run the self-test. Okay, well, we'll do that. Self-testing here. Let me back you guys up. Now, if you can hear that, what it's doing is it's vibrating the plate. And it's doing that, I guess, for a type of input shaping. Okay, after doing all its vibrating and everything, let's see what the screen says. Self-test complete. Your printer is ready. Enjoy printing. Okay, after some fiddling with the software, I think most of it was just connecting to my Wi-Fi, because we have a lot of Wi-Fi bridges in here because we're not wired in the studio yet or any of the other offices here in the cave. So either way, our connected computer is added to the phone. Just follow the instructions. I don't think you'll have any problem. Like I said, it was related to our setup. So now it is asking for a firmware update. Do you want to update now, because it's now connected to my wireless network? So I am going to absolutely say yes. We definitely want the most current firmware. No, it's much quicker than I thought. Okay, so it's done doing the firmware update. We're now ready to do some printing. Right here is where the SD card is, the mini SD card for files. There are files on here. I don't like to test out of the box 3D printers with included files, simply because these are just, you know, these files are done perfect for this printer, so you can't help but pretty much get good prints. I want to see what happens if I just start off with one of my own prints. And one of the ones we want to do is a box. See, here's a box for our sensor. And this usually takes about an hour and a half. Now, prior to me getting this printer, I downloaded the software for the slicing software. I put this in here, and it says it can do this, in about 45 minutes, about half the time. So that's what we're going to do. Got some PEG, actually it's which is what we use in green. So we're going to put the box in green, and we're going to see how this box comes out on this printer, sliced with their slicer for PETG, and see if it actually does it in the 45 minutes. So the first thing we need to do, though, is we need to load in the filament into the machine. PETG, so we just push this into the tubing, and they say to push this as far as it will go. Probably kind of hard for you to see, but there is green filament in there, and it goes all the way down into the head, and it stops. We're going to go to feeding, and then there's load, and we're going to want to come up to load. And what I'm going to do is give you a better shot of the hot end here. Hold on one second. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push OK. A firm weather filament has been extruded. Alright, so I had to push retry a few times, but as you can see, there is the filament coming out. I had to push, like I said, retry a few times to prime the head. And if I push it again, there you go, you can see the filament coming out. So we're set to go there. I went to Bambu's website. I downloaded the Bambu Studio, and this is the box that we want to print. I have all the settings up here. Bambu Labs P1P. I got the textured plate, and I've got some. Only thing I could find was I'm going to use the generic PETG or PETG. So here's the box that we want to print. I'm going to go up here to slice it, up in the upper right where it says slice plate. And here it says in this box it's going to take 38 minutes to complete. Definitely less than half of what it normally takes to print this box, which is about an hour and a half. At the far right up here it says print plate, so we're going to click that. It's going to tell us exactly what everything is. It wants us to pick a printer. Now I'm going to pick send. It's successfully sent. Downloading. Went up here to the camera options. Auto record monitoring is on. Now down here under status, the heat bed is preheating. And up here in the upper right, see what temperatures there are. Oh, we're almost there. It's almost getting ready to print. I was really hoping we'd have a camera view though. Now it is doing an automatic bed level. So actually how I'm doing is I'm in my office, which is not in the workshop studio area, controlling all this. I just went in there real quick and checked. It is doing auto bed leveling, doing its vibration check. I wanted to make sure the camera wasn't blocked, but we just can't seem to get the camera to work. So as you can see, we couldn't get the camera to show on the Bambu Studio running on my computer, but if you can see here, I opened up the app on my phone and it is printing. And it's pretty far along already. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to leave this office and I'm going to go into the work area and we'll pick you up from there. All right. So here I am from my office. Boy, I'm probably blown out on the lights here. Here it's printing, and let me tell you, it's got a base of it already done. So I'm going to take me out of the picture. I'm going to zoom into this. Look at this thing go. This is absolutely incredible, the speed. So this very well may get done in the 40 minutes it said. Well, actually it said 38 minutes and a few seconds. So what we'll do is now just sit here and let it do its thing, and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I was monitoring from the other room. This is now complete. What we'll do is we'll take this off of the plate and we'll take a look and see how it did. The printer is not here anymore. I have put it over in the 3D printer room. As you can see somewhere in this screen, it's going to show you that. It's going to sit in the corner in between the row of resin printers that we have and the Prusa Mini. It's going to sit there and it's going to start doing some printing, if not today, first thing tomorrow morning. But in the meantime, let's get to the meat of things. Here is a box that was printed with one of our old ones, our old 3D printers, and here is the box that was just printed with the Bambu. Here's the two boxes side by side. This is not a bad print on the old ones, but you can see there are some imperfections. You can definitely see some layer lines. Now let's take a look at this one. There's some artifact in here, but that's really being, I think, amplified by the camera. But the channel where we have walls that slide in here, they are without a doubt more crisp than this one. It's also hard for you to tell, but the circle, the round opening up here where the sensor dome comes through on the motion sensor, it's a little squat. It's more of an oval than a circle, whereas this one is more of a perfect circle. And there's a better example of that on the back here. As you can see, you can definitely see how that's deformed into like an oval as it was printed, which makes it a little difficult for us to put the rubber grommet in here that the sensor wire goes through. Whereas on this print, it's pretty much, round. It's a round circle. If you notice, sharp corners are always a problem. They're more noticeable again on the box printed with the other printers. The P1P handled the corners way better, if that's even a word. Dimensionally, I think the P1P is more accurate. You can literally look at this and tell these are both the same STL, just sliced different. The P1P, the walls are definitely a little thicker than on the other one. This is more what I had in mind when I designed this. So I'm beginning to think this is more dimensionally accurate. If we hold these, I could get out the calipers and measure, but I don't have to. If you can tell, Look at the green one's a little longer, and yet, oh, I'm sorry, and the green one's a little longer, and they're supposed to be dimensionally correct. There you go. It's not by much, but it's a little bit. So I like that. Now let's take a look at the sides, because that's where you can see about the layer lines the most. Again, you can see some of the layering of the lines. Not bad for a 3D print. I'm telling you, I this is good. Okay, and here's the one thing that always showed up is you can tell exactly where the interior walls. Well, let's see, get my fingers out of the way so you can get a good shot here. So here's those grooves for the walls that go in here. There's one here. There's another wall here. And if you turn on the side here, as it prints, you can tell where the wall is on the side. It printed sturdy and nice and thick, but you can definitely see that's like coming through. Now, let's take a look at this one. They're not there. You can tell a little bit here, but that's because we have I have a really thin wall on the front here. So, any printer is going to have a little bit of a problem, other than maybe a resin printer. Not doing that. But the ones over here, it's very hard. If it wasn't for these holes, you wouldn't really know which is the top and which is the bottom. So this is definitely a better printed... get you on camera. This is definitely a better printed piece done in, like I said, done in 33 minutes versus 90 minutes, which is actually just a little over 1/3 of the time. So we cut, using the P1P, we cut almost 66% of the time off. This is really going to enhance our production. And not to mention all the cool robot things we can make, and Halloween. Now, seriously. You couldn't see my ugly mug. I'm sure in the comments below, people are going to say you didn't go over this, you didn't go over that, you didn't read the directions right. It was a new printer. I took it out of the box. I was just excited as one of you when you would have gotten it. And even with all that, as excited as I was with it and everything else, I still got it out of the box in 27 minutes, which is a home run for setting up a 3D printer. And it printed perfect right out of the box. And not only did it print perfect right out of the box, it printed out perfect with a file I did, a generic STL that I designed and threw at it with so I'm happy. So imagine if I just tweaked it for that printer, like, some of the files that were on the SD, and I could have done that, but again, I don't like to print things that the company sent because of course they're going to print perfect. They're tuned perfect for that printer. But there is a Facebook site, I'll put a link below, called Mr. Baddley, I believe Baddley, and his Facebook page and his Patreon page, which is very important, and I encourage you, go sign up for his Patreon page. He has all these Star Wars droids, but they're all sliced for like 200 by 200 bed 3D printers, and there's also some for 500 millimeter bed printers. But he has an R2D2 that is sliced to be printed for 200 by 200 bed, or any 200 big bed. This printer that you just saw is 256 by 256 by 256, which is more than enough to print his individual R2 pieces. So I think the first thing I'm going to do with this thing, and of course I'm not going to print this normal R2. I like Imperial droids the most. So I think I'm going to do the R2Q5, is it? Either way, it's the black version of R2D2, the black and copper. So I think tomorrow I have some rolls of black coming in, and I'm going to start printing out the panels for an full-sized R2. So follow me along with that, and we're going to put this P1P through its paces. So I think that's going to be the big project for the P1P. We're going to use that in between printing these boxes. I think we're going to start printing out that full-sized R2D2. So the setup was kind of iffy, as far as, following along. I think you'll have no problem. Like I said, my main problem was, I think it's just the Wi-Fi in here. The way I've got it configured was made it a little tough for it to get online. Being able to send and monitor the prints, from, either the phone or from the desktop app, that is great. Would I recommend this printer? It's very hard for me not to. You have to come across a really bad printer for me not to recommend, I guess, a printer, because all the printers I have, they're almost generational. I had the Ender 3 when it first came out, so I thought that was a great printer because it was a $200 or I think a sub $200 printer at that time, 5 years ago. So at that time, that was a great printing printer. You compare it to this, no, it's not that great a printer, but I would have recommended that one. Then I got the Viper and the Max and the Prusa, and each one of them was an improvement of the time, and I recommended all of them. They printed for the money spent, for what you got back. They are excellent. Prusa is my go-to printer. It just prints fine and it prints details. However, this, with some of its vibration, almost like input shaping, I think, and the camera, I think the P1P is going to start being my go-to printer. This wasn't even fine detail. This was just standard print, which I think was the 0.2 layer height. So yeah, I think the P1P could quickly surpass the Prusa and go into my go-to printer, my everyday printer. Like I said, right now it's $600. I think it's a steal. $600 is nothing to sneeze at. I know it's a lot of money for some people, but if you're looking at spending $400 or something for a Prusa, dig around for the extra $200. I think you'll be happier with the Bambu P1P. And the carbon is, I think, around $1,000, $1,100 right now, which is the big brother of the P1P. I don't, for that much of a price difference, I don't see why you would need that. I would definitely recommend the P1P over the carbon, although I've never printed with the carbon. I just feel that for the money's cost, what I've seen getting out of this, comparing the specs are almost identical. P1P is ready to go. And as always, it's the end of the video, so I'm just rambling on. Yes, I like the P1P, as I've seen right here. We're going to put it through its paces. Nothing's going to do that better than building a full-size droid, so that's what we're going to do. So if you have any questions, any comments, put them below. I'll answer as best I can. I've never purported to be a 3D print expert. I just love 3D printing, and I learn with every printer I get. I never stop learning. Till then, till the next unboxing, model work, whatever we're doing in here, I'm Steve. Thanks for stopping by the Maker's Cave, and I'll see you at the next video.